God always gives you little pinches of things, right? And fixing the hole. I saw a video of this guy. He from you know 100 years ago. The Beatles, and he said, that Jesus came and watched the Beatles record the song "Fixing the Hole," and Jesus just showed up. He invited him in, so made tea for him, and then asked him if he wanted to come to the session, and he said yes. And then that he told Jesus that not to make a big deal, sit right here, and because he didn't want anybody freaking out about Jesus being in the studio, and of course, he could have been on drugs, right? But what if this was real? He said he wasn't, and then they recorded "Fixing the Hole," and then afterwards, they didn't share a cab or anything. The guy just disappears. The guy name that said his name was Jesus. Um, and why would I be in? I keep hearing that, and while I'm sitting here trying to pray about what the issues are. And what if CERN has opened a hole, and we're the body of Christ are supposed to be praying to fix the hole? Fix the hole in 26. And I heard that too for some other minister said 2026 is the year of the fix. Fix of what? Fixing the hole. We wanted so bad to not be stuck in the fishbowl. And CERN opened the fishbowl. Only Jesus Christ, Messiah, the Father, can open the fishbowl. But they want to open the fishbowl early. And they have opened the fishbowl. There's a hole. And we got to pray for fixing the hole. Of course, it could be the very end. I mean, the prayer call seems to make it look like it's the very end. But not the very, very end. Because he says that he's going to shake heaven and earth and the waters. And he is. He's shaking heaven, earth, and waters. Yes, thank you, Mason. Oh, you want to know who I am. I'm Kimberly. And with Harken Ring in the Kingdom. And I'm all for ringing in the kingdom. But there are reports all over the world of crazy things happening. And we need to pray. We need to command the water. We need to bend the water. Just like 3i Atlas bent the water as he came over. It came over and caused a swarm of volcanic eruption in California. We need to pray and bend the water too, so that we can, like the guy in the Beatles said, fixing the hole, that we can pray to fix the hole, so the darkness doesn't keep coming in. Because the military, they'll do their job and kill demonic things that come into our realm that are not supposed to be in their realm, in our realm. But we've got to do our part, and we've got to pray. We've got to pray that the demonic things are apprehended, and send angels to apprehend them. And hi, Jimmy. And my mind is all of a mush, even though I trained for this. I trained for this, and then I'm still like, a nursing home exploded today. Yesterday, a plane went down over Galveston Bay, which is really they say Galveston Bay, but it's really the Gulf of Mexico, right? Gulf of America. And 6 people, um, sounds like burned really, really bad. 4 dead. Maybe all of, those six, 4 of them could be dead. I think there's no survivors really. There's 2 lost. They don't know where they are. Maybe they uh, came out of the plane and drowned, or but 4 others who are dead. Um, but some were taken. 4 were taken to the hospital. So it's hard to understand what exactly happened in Houston. I wouldn't even know if it wasn't for the miles and miles and miles of smoke. This plane, which was taking people from one hospital to another, the way it sounds, went down, and it was a, a Mexico military carrying these people and children, parents and children, to hospitals. And did an explosion happen? I heard a long sound that I couldn't really identify it. I thought maybe one of the like Shell or Chevron or something had an explosion, and that you could hear like the fire igniting the gases. But then I find out that it was probably just the um the aviation fuel. But the crazy part is I was in right there between right there before above Clear Lake, the lower part of Pasadena, and I heard it. So, and then today, last night to be particular, uh, there's been waves, large waves, and even clouds just dumping water, tons and tons of water on California. Um, and they've got another cloud that's supposed to come tomorrow of dumping water on them. And then there's sightings of and weird things happening. Alien things. They don't seem to see them. They're like there's sounds coming through the realm, but you can't see them. And we've already been told, that it's wrong to worry, it's wrong to fear, because we feed them. They receive, if we do obeisance, or to tremble in their presence, then they get stronger, from because they sense that as honor and respect. Um, so we cannot show any fear of these things, and we should not worry. We don't want to feed them with our energy at all. But we need to take control and pray about this, okay? About the evil spirits that are lurking. Now, Kevin Zeta, he puts a face to them. He's got a little, and I share one of those, I think a couple of them, where he's showing them as little aliens. But I've looked around to see other people's information, and they're not showing a picture. They're showing spiritual things like movement of strings, balloons, freezing the brains of dogs so that they just sit there and stare like they are interfered with. Um, and then a ghost like thing picking up a phone and pointing it back toward the person who they pulled the phone out of that person's hand. All reasons to anoint your house with oil and listen to the prayer call that I've provided you with directions from God. And that would be December 17, 2025 prayer call. And I've done it twice. I've done one with commentary explaining what I thought, and then one just clean, not talking at all, just giving you the word. that came through tongues and interpretation. So one of them's like 2 hours long with me talking, explaining what I think these things are, and then the other one just clean word, no explanation. And guys, I just want anybody to listen, because is there anybody that you can warn? Is there anybody, or is everybody just is everybody just going to wait and do nothing? The prayer call, for like the last 3 weeks, he says, when I tell you to go, go. When I tell you to run, run. I mean, one activated a vision that I'd had, or a dream I'd had when I was a child. One of the videos that I saw a while ago, that this woman, she can't see anything out her door, but she hears a voice telling her this is the global something or other, something or other. And this is a drill or an exercise. And it just reminds me of that vision when that big round ball came with a one eye on it and told me, they're coming, get ready, they're coming. And I had that vision when I was like 5 or 6 years old. And then I had another dream where I was in the top apartment, and again a friendly robotic thing came and said, they're coming, get ready, they're coming. And I go, I have nothing to worry about. I have Yeshua HaMashiach. I have nothing to worry about. But I think there's certain living conditions that are bad. You can be in a place where it's congested with people, and that's bad because you can't protect yourself right without harming other people. You can't travel somewhere without running into somebody that can't afford gas or doesn't have enough gas and blocks the whole highway. You there's places that would be better that you weren't at. And this might right now be already a time when it's better to stay, because I asked my son to go and check the oil in our truck. And he said he hears the voice of God saying no. So either no, it's not time to go, or no, I'm in a safe place, I shouldn't go. Whatever the case may be. That maybe I'm safer here. I mean, I've had a lot of visions where this place was the safe place. I've had a few where less than the visions that I've had that says go. I've had some that says stay. I said that wrong. I've only had the ones that I know are from God. I see as a rapture experience where we get all of us with our backpack and get in a car, and we're in a hatchback like place, car, and we drive into a wooded area, and they say that here, this is where it's at, and I pop the back hatch, and they all run into the woods, and they asked me, did I want to go? And I said, no, I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then at the last minute, I decide to go. And right then, my son comes running back and said, I forgot my backpack. And when I said, I've decided to come with you. And he goes, good, because it was your backpack. Come on. I just wondered if you were ready. And so I put the car in automatic. Like, it must have been a Tesla drive assist. I just told it to leave. And we barely got to the tree line when a whole group of other people appeared who had walked through the trees to get there. And then we would barely we didn't even have time to say hi. And suddenly this huge helicopter came down to get us. And so what I think it means is that we're going to leave one house and go into another. that's what I think it means. That during a time of disheaval, the rapture will take place, and we'll move out of our flesh bodies into our spirit bodies, into our light bodies. And so that's the only one that technically is like a let's go, let's go, let's go kind of thing. That we actually went to a place before we experienced a rapture event. Another time I was in a RV. We were parked on the top of a hill, like in I thought my feelings were that we were in Billings, Montana, or somewhere between Crazy Woman Canyon and Cody, Wyoming. Isn't that crazy? I was inside a RV and I felt like we were on the top of the mountain, but not on Cody Mountain, but next the one between Buffalo, Wyoming and Cody. And I don't live anywhere near a mountain at all. Um, and I felt a shifting of earthquake, and I thought, oh, we moved about maybe a foot or maybe a few inches, and I wanted to check to see if we had needed to, jack anything up or whatever. I went toward the door, but then Yeshua, Jesus Christ, was standing there blocking my way, and he handed me a robe. I'm going, I'm dressed, but okay, if you just insist. So I put the robe on and I ran out, and I noticed that we had moved a long way. We had come a long way down the mountain. We were no longer in the park. We were on the side of the road, parked the correct direction on the shoulder, like we were waiting for someone to come and pick us up. So I knew this was another like rapture dream, because that would have been scary and felt a lot of movement. And then I remember having a similar dream in the Greyhound bus I used to live in, where the Greyhound bus came down. We were sitting on top of a mountain and it moved. Um, and then we were trying to get the bus back into its spot, and I had to drive it around, trying to find a place that was open to park the bus, because so many people were coming in their RVs and parking in RV parks and state parks. So, when I get through here, I don't know how I'll do it. Please just look at my playlist. Go to lives, and I don't do a lot of lives, but go to one that's named either Great Earthquake, because the Great Earthquake one is the long one, and it has the same information, or the one named 12-17-25. Okay? And then it'll say prayer call after that, but it's easy to see that date. Okay? Always put the date first on most of the time, so that you can have information that I have. I want more people to have the information that I have. And there are tons of prayer calls. I was thinking a while ago, why did God give us in the prayer call like the Christmas season kind of preaching, but he did it 3 weeks ago? Why would he do that 3 weeks ago, knowing that Christmas is on the 25th? Why wouldn't he give it on the 24th, right? But why would he give it way back on, like, I think it was the 7th or the 10th? Why would he do it so early? And then he goes into, different things. I want you to know what I know. I want you to know what I know. If you don't know what I know, I want you to be able to hear what I hear. If you don't know what I hear, I want you to have the visions that I have. And there's no sense in redoing all of those visions again and again and again when I've got buckets of them. The voice of God, the voice of Elohim, the voice of Elua, Yahuwah. Go to the playlist that starts with the voice. Okay? And anything that I felt like was definitely the voice of God, I've put in there. Things that I've produced and things that other people have produced. I want you to be saved. So I know that nobody but kooky people have, well, I shouldn't say that. I haven't seen anybody I want y'all to be saved. I shouldn't say anything. I've said hi, but I want you to be saved. God bless you. And let me see. Maybe I can read a little to you. Where's my last prayer call? Seriously, I've already done all this. And if you want to know Hebrews, I'm reading Hebrews. It's got the Hebrew name in it, Ibram. But Hebrews is a playlist. You've got to listen to Hebrews. I mean, because it tells you that Yeshua is the high priest forever. And don't be left behind. Don't be left behind. And I don't know. I don't know anything else to tell you except to listen to the voice. If you're prepared, you've prepared your heart, you've prepared your mind, and you've prepared your ticket for salvation, then you will hear the voice of God. And I've gotten the instructions, but I keep hearing no when I say, "Is it time to go?" He says no. And it's so close to time. You need to listen to God. Listen to God. Do whatever it is you need to do. And I've got things on there that's about if you do get left behind, that there's two types of are we the wheat or are we the barley? The barley goes first and the wheat has to be thrashed and then it goes. Hi, Jacob. I'm giving a warning. I'm trying to warn the people. So if you are barley, the early rapture, then you'll go pre. But some are stubborn and they have to be thrashed. And that's wheat. Wheat has to be thrashed. And I don't know. I absolutely don't know whether to tell you that you're wheat or you're barley, and what you should do if you're wheat or what you should do if you're barley, because it's each person. If you can't hear in your own head what God tells you to do, then you just wait on the Father. Wait on the Father. That was another vision where I saw the earth breaking apart, and that sure feels like right now. But the earth was breaking apart. There was a black hole that was eating the chunks of the earth. It had already eaten up all of the lights, the sun and the moon and the stars. And it was beginning to eat. It had already eaten all the other planets, and it was eating us last. And then I realized that he was rolling up the skies, just like he said, to making a new heaven and new earth. And anyway, I was told to watch the babies and keep their diapers clean, their linen diapers clean. And the baby had a clean diaper, and I had 2 changeable diapers. Like it was a 3-day or a 3 diaper experience. And I saw that there was spaceships taking people off of little pieces of earth that were still floating in the space. And I'm going, that's not what you said, God. You said wait for the Father. And I know what the Father is. It's a big ball of light if he's not using his bodysuit or if he's not using Yeshua. And so, I don't know what else to tell you except pray and read your Bible and follow my YouTube channel. Go in the playlist, and you've got all of almost all of Hebrew. You got all of John, got all of Psalms, and you've got all the prayer calls, all of them. God bless you. Stay safe, and most of all, be prayed up. Because if you lose your life right now, that just means you're in the early harvest. Okay? But you need to obey him. Okay? God bless you. And if you're a thing that you need to remember is if God isn't done with you yet, he'll just throw you back in your body, and you'll do it. You'll finish it. Like I had a car wreck, and I didn't even wreck. The car went through my car, and I was not damaged in any way. So, God can do anything, but sometimes, like in the prayer call, he says, I promised to save them, but they still had to run and not look back. So you still have to run from sin and not look back. You still have to run from those who are doing sin and not look back. You still have to run away from the city that is doing sin and not look back, because he's going to destroy the city where the sin was performed. Okay? And I'm realizing that there not enough people are even listening. Not enough people are hearing me. And I can't possibly one-on-one pray for the whole world. I can't possibly one-on-one reach everyone. And like he said, don't look back. Don't look back at your, or that means, Jonathan Thong, he had a vision. I think he said he dreamed it 3 times or 4 times. Oh, and that one was that that there was water coming into Houston, and he was holding onto a light pole as the wave came over his head, and then a voice told him, "Let go of everything, and it'll all be all right." Or, well, let go of everything and you'll float to the top. I don't remember exactly what it said after that, but he let go of the light pole, and he floated all the way up to the top of the water, where I guess angels rescued him. I can't remember exactly what happened at that point, but he said he was rescued. So all kinds of reasons to pray, and that's just my crazy son who likes to hit every pitch of every frequency in the world. God bless y'all.